Happy Monday, March 4th.
Happy Monday, March 14th.
14th, yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Ann Rossley. I'm here with Kyle Harvey. It's Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann. We sell real estate in downtown Chicago. We're with Beard and Warner, and we love to talk real estate. So, Kyle.
Well, it's been a crazy week. I think for you too, but for me, a crazy, crazy week. But all has worked out. That's what you get in your head. It all works out.
Everybody, I'm snickering. I'll let you in on our joke. Kyle refuses to say what's going on in her business because she doesn't want to jinx it. And I get that. Like, you don't want to talk about when something just goes under contract or you just save a deal because, you know what, another shoe could drop, right?
I know. You're the same way too. A little bit. We're going to tell stories today, though, people. You're going to find out why our blood pressure is higher than it should be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we were going to talk about inspections, and then we said, you know what? We've talked about inspections. If you want to talk inspections, we'll put a link in the comments about how to learn about inspections. But today we're going to do questions and answers. So if you have a question for us, please post it in the comments, text us, whatever, and we'll answer it. But we've got a few for each other we're going to ask today.
Yes. But first, let's talk about stats because I can't start my Monday. It's like coffee. I start my Mondays with stats. Right. What do you got?
Okay. So today we're only going to talk about 4 neighborhoods. We're going to talk about near North, West Town, Lincoln Park, and Lakeview. Let's first talk. Here, let me put this in on a single page. Easier flip. There we go. Okay. So looking at it a little bit differently today. First, by month number of closed sales. And you can see it's like da, 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 da. So let's take it one by one.
Okay.
In the month of February in Lakeview, 11 homes closed. In the month of February in Lincoln Park, 8 homes closed. So we think of these markets as being so big. Not a lot's been going on. West Town.
Wait. People. So you look at the blips and the bigger in the other months, because 2021. Look at sometimes it's as high as 45. That tells you how little inventory we have on the market. That only 8 are closing.
Right.
Good heavens, people. Go ahead.
Yeah. Near North Side 3.
Oh my.
And West Town 13. Yeah. Not a lot. Does this change how you see it?
Yeah, it looks good. That's even bigger. Good.
Good. Okay, good. Okay, now this chart, I wish they would do it differently. As you look at this, don't look at the group compared. Look by color, okay?
Yeah.
So so blue is near North. That's what we were just talking about, near North, with only 8 sold. But, okay, this is 11 months rolling. So here is ending in February, starting in March of 2021 to February of 2022. 53 closed.
That's huge for a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of single family homes.
Exactly right. And that was up 61% versus previous year. Okay. Wow. So now let's look at Lincoln Park. Again, we're still looking at single family homes here. Most recent 12 months. 299 single-family homes went closed in Lincoln Park in the previous 12 months. That was up 48.8, call it 50% over the previous year. Wow. When we look at Lakeview, 202 single-family homes went under contract versus 135 the previous year. That's 49.6. Again, call it up 50%. So we're basically up 60%, 50%, 50% versus the previous 12 months. How's that for a train running down the tracks, right?
Yeah.
And then in West Town, 263 versus 211, up 25%. But West Town's been on fire, right?
For the last several years. So how much hotter could it be?
Yeah, exactly. 25 is darned hot.
Darned hot, yeah.
Darn hot. Okay, so now let's look at the supply of homes. The blue, okay, for those of you who have taken a stroll down Astor Street, you know there are some very expensive single family homes. And there's, been a time when single family homes in the $4 or $5 million range weren't so hot. So we were at 24.1 months a couple of years ago. Now we're down to 9 months. That is a big deal. Luxury is on fire right now. And if you look at Lincoln Park Lakeview, which we're about to do. Okay. So let's look at Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park's in purple here. So let's look purple, purple, purple. There are only 2.8 months worth of homes on the market, 7.2 the year before and 6.7 the year before that. Lakeview, only 2.8 months worth of inventory, and Westtown, only 1.9 months worth of inventory. Now, okay, so here's the setup. This is a rolling 12 months. When you look at it month by month by month, look at the numbers and you can see more easily up here. Near North is 4.6 months supply, Lincoln Park 1.5, Lakeview 1.3, and Westtown not even 1 month's worth of inventory. And so what does that mean? Here are the new ones coming on the market. We just showed you that there were between 3 and 8, maybe 12 homes selling in each of those neighborhoods. In terms of new homes coming on the market, near North Side 8 versus 3 that closed in February. 20 in Lakeview, 22 in Lincoln Park, 22 in Westtown. These are all, new listings is not so much a lagging indicator, but I thought this was interesting. I went into the hot sheet and pulled these 4 neighborhoods, single family only, for the first 13 days of March. So this is even less of a lagging indicator. This is more what's happening today. 54 new single families have hit in those 4 neighborhoods. 42 have gone under contract.
Good Lord.
So you put it on, it's selling, people. Yeah. Look how many are on private. Private is the launch pad, right, Kyle?
Well, it's so interesting, and we'll talk about this when we talk about what's going on in our business. But private, there are still brokers who do not look in the private network for their housing. And so you're not getting the same kind of bang for that buck. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just thought I think this pie chart is crazy. Now, there are agents out there who rely on expired listings and bugging people who have gone off the market. They've got to be looking for other business at this point, right? Expired listings is not where you're going to do your business, real estate agent.
No, because nothing's expiring. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So let's look at condominiums now. Okay. For the month of February, here's what's closed. In the near North Side, which is the biggest condo market in the city, 201 properties went under contract. That was up 65% versus February the year before. Lakeview, the next neighborhood north, 123 properties under contract, up 5%. Westtown, 85 down 4.5, and Lincoln Park up 83. But again, we can't say that this is indicative of the buyer demand. It's more driven by supply. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially in Westtown, there's not a lot to buy.
Right. Okay. So closed sales. Again, this is rolling 12 months. Looking first at near North. Almost 3,000 properties closed over the last 12 months. And that's up 64% versus the previous year. Now, the reason it was down here is, keep in mind, everybody, this is condos in near North from March of 2020, right? We all know what happened in March of 2020 to February of 2021. So it dipped, but it's not like it's way down here.
Right?
No. In the 900s.
It dipped and then it recovered.
Yep, exactly right.
And then look at it now.
It's insane right now. Almost 3,000 condos. Okay, so then let's look at Lincoln Park here in the purplish. Almost 1,400 is up 51%. So everybody, when I was at the luxury conference, they were all talking flight to single family, flight to second home. I'd like to postulate that there are plenty of people coming in as backfill, or they're buying second homes elsewhere, but they're not necessarily fleeing like everybody's saying they're fleeing. I mean, That's a lot of sales. And then if you look at Lakeview, 2383, almost 2400 is up 40%. And 1662 in Westtown is up 27%. Up, 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 up. Okay. Rolling 12 months. Again, we all know we had a significant inventory during COVID in the near north neighborhood with condos. So let's look here at Lincoln Park. 2.7 months of inventory versus 5.1, 2.4 in Lakeview versus 4.2, and 1.9 in Westtown, which we all agree is the hottest. Okay, and then month supply by month. Okay, here's where it gets dicey again. Westtown, 1.1 months worth of inventory in condos. Lakeview, 1.5 months worth of inventory. Near north, which remember was up over 10 months worth of inventory, is down to 4.5. Very, very good clip. And Lincoln Park, 1.8. Strong, strong, strong. Okay, so by month, new condos on the market. Look at this. Near North's got 573 new on the market during the month of February, and January was good.
But we always do. This is when the condo market starts to heat up in the near north side. So they're behaving very normally now. It's the other neighborhoods which have nothing.
Right. They're coming up like we expect them to, but they're not coming up as high as we would expect them.
Yeah.
See, previous years here. Exactly right. So anyway, so that's new. And so then I wanted to show you this condo showings per listing. This gives you a sense of buyer demand.
Yeah.
Because there aren't so many, every time one goes on the market, it's getting lots of showings. So the typical property will get in Lincoln Park, Lakeview, and Westtown between 8 and 9 showings per listing in a month. So if you're going on the market and you're a condo in Westtown, you should expect in that first month to get about 9 showings on your property. Okay, and here we go with the market activity again. In the first 13 days of March, 800 condos went on the market in those 4 neighborhoods. 641 went under contract, 418 closed, and 220 are in the private network.
Wow.
So, Kyle,
yeah,
what's this mean for our viewers? Like, what should they be thinking about given all this?
Well, I mean, I've got a couple of new buyers, first-time buyers who are looking for condos in the sort of the well-priced entry-level markets in the 3s, 4s, and low 5s. And that's the hottest part of the market. And it's just really tricky. It's going to be tricky for them to find a place and to act on it, especially for first-time buyers, because figuring out, I do want this. A seasoned buyer who's bought before, knows what they want, they can make a decision, go. And it's that buyer who's going to be most successful in this market based on all this data. It's the person who goes, I see it, I want it, let's go.
Right. We were just talking about buyers need to be solid in their priorities, and they need to know their boundaries. I have buyers that we're talking about this. We just won a multiple offer last night after they were rejected 5 times in multiple offers. But they stayed strong and they were smart. It was good they were rejected, because in every case, the property didn't make enough sense to pay that much money, or the buyer that won, we think, paid too much money. And, if the market keeps continuing increasing like it will, they'll catch up. They live there 8 years, they'll be fine. But, but it wasn't right for my buyers, and bless their hearts, they stayed in it, and we found it. And, I don't think we were the highest offer, but we had the best terms.
Yeah.
Again, so work with an agent that can guide you through, peeps. But anyway, so to your point, they need to be educated. They need to be willing to ride a roller coaster for a while.
ride a roller coaster, but also when you see something you want, be decisive. And also remember that you can't be really picky if you want to buy right now. You've got to say, I can make it the way I want it.
Oh, right.
Because if you're like, well, I really want to wait for something that's been freshly painted and all this, and the answer is, okay.
Keep waiting.
Yeah.
Keep
Good
waiting.
good for you.
Yeah.
But I get it. I tend to think of the people who are indecisive as really not ready to buy, and not ready to buy in a competitive market. And it's not for everybody. So rent for another, except for it's so expensive to rent. God. So I don't think it's a good idea to rent, but if you're not ready to do it, you don't need the stress. So
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and all indications, again, when I was at that conference last week, all indications are you should be in the market. As difficult as it is, you should be in the market. Why? Interest rates are going to go up. They're continuing to go up. B, we have inflation. Inflation, one of the best hedges against inflation is hard assets, real estate being number one. So they're all, and prices are going to continue to appreciate because they are building enough new property, and demand is going to continue with millennials. And so what does that say? From a financial standpoint, and this is not me as your financial advisor, this is me repeating what financial advisors are saying and economists are saying, but they're saying be in the market if you can to buy.
And I was somebody who was too busy back in the day when it made really financial sense for me to buy. I was a young lawyer and I was working. I always had an excuse why not to. And finally I did. And it was so smart because, and I still live in the place that I bought, which is not necessarily smart. It's just sort of what happened. But I pay almost nothing.
I pay almost nothing. What you would pay in rent. Right.
I mean, it's embarrassing how little I pay. And I mean, not embarrassing, I'm delighted. But because I finally got my act together. So I got to tell you, that point about hedge against inflation, about preparing yourself, I'm able to accumulate other assets because I don't have this huge housing cost every month. So.
Right. Great. Okay, so we can either answer questions now, or we could show one pretty property. What do you think?
I want to show that pretty property because I really like this is a new listing from Ann's.
Yeah, I love this property too. I love this property. Okay, this is 3500 North Lakeshore Drive. It's a co-op. It is, it was renovated 6 years ago. This is the outside, right on Lakeshore Drive, just north of Belmont Harbor. This is the lobby.
So first of all, I need to go back. This is one of the very good co-op buildings in Lakeview. It is across the street from tennis courts, the park, the lake, Belmont Harbor's north end. It is one of the prettiest locations on a street that runs east, so not a ton of traffic. It is just lovely. Go.
I'm a big fan. The lobby was just renovated. There are 2 elevator tiers, like many of these old buildings. This was also the architect on this was DeGallier, who was the same architect as 1120 Lakeshore and some other buildings. And it was also built in 1926. He was very busy in that era. And Avery Brundage was the builder. This is the foyer/gallery of the unit, and you can see these beautiful vaulted ceilings here.
Incredible.
Just lovely. And they've retained the best of the vintage in this home.
Those look like original floors too. I mean, those are beautiful floors.
Aren't they gorgeous? We're on the southeast corner here, facing the harbor. So this room, you can see, it's a huge living room. Lots of light, lots of architectural details. We have molding on the ceiling here, this beautiful fireplace. Fireplaces work in this building. Here's another view of the living room. And we put bookshelves into these lovely archways. Look at those. Room for your grand piano.
That's a grand, not a baby grand, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Okay, so here's the kitchen. And what I love is they kept these metal St. Charles cabinets and refinished them, but then they added matching cabinets above. There is the most incredible storage. This is a rounded cabinet here and a very interesting, huge piece of Carrara marble here for a worktop. So it's a very, very functional kitchen. Here it is from the other direction.
Woo!
And we've got a banquette eating area over here. This is where the washer and dryer are.
Great.
And another view. And this, look at these apothecary shelves with the lighting underneath. Isn't that cool? This is the butler's pantry.
Yeah.
Just loads and loads of storage. And this is the den. This is not a bedroom. Isn't this lovely? So this is a walnut paneled den looking east. And this is the fun bar, which you'll see in a minute. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Okay, they took the formal dining room and divided it into 2 open rooms. So half of it is designated as the dining room. And then the back half, which is actually the southern exposure, is the den.
Well, that also tells you how ginormous that dining room was.
Right? Look how big that is. And look at those doors with the custom archways with the doors.
Oh, good.
Hardware. Okay, so that's a look from the vestibule gallery into... Okay, this is the primary bedroom. Again, they put in these soffits to designate the bed area and the seating area, custom closets behind those doors, different angle from the bathroom looking out. This is bedroom number 2, bath number 2, bedroom number 3. This is 2 maids' rooms put together with a new, all the beds are new here. Pretty bath. This is what I call the sassy bar. It's a wet bar. Isn't that fun? With the wallpaper kind of art deco. I think it's so hilarious and great. So that's it.
How much is the price?
$150. And
it's a goodie.
3,500 square feet. Yeah. So that's that. All right. So we've got some questions from people.
Okay.
Where's my card? Okay, Kyle.
Can I start with you? Asking you?
All right. Sure.
You want to ask me? No, you ask the question.
Yeah, no, I want to ask you.
Ask you.
Okay. Talk about how you got into real estate. Why you got in, how you got in.
Okay, so some of you may know that I was a lawyer for 150 years. No, not 150, but almost 30. And my mother was a real estate broker, as you probably know. And growing up, I used to answer the phone because she worked out of the house, Janice Harvey Real Estate. And I would go on showings with my mother and sit in the car and prevent the car from being towed. We were told to burst into tears if the cops came. So that would be now child abuse, but it also gave me a sense of what she did. And as I was, I really loved being a lawyer a lot of the time, and I sort of sometimes didn't love being a lawyer. And after my mother died, and both my parents were dead, I realized I didn't need anyone's permission. I could change my career, and I was thinking, what would I want to do? And so I decided, I might want to do this because it brings my legal background, my analytical background, and I don't have to travel as much. And I get to work from home and I get to do something new. So that's how I did it.
Awesome. Okay, answered. All right, you want to ask me one?
Yes.
Let's go back and forth.
Okay, so so people, you don't really know this, but Ann Rossley is enormously experienced and enormously well regarded in the business. And she makes everything look easy. So, Ann, what is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest would be I really worry about my people. And when they think their property is worth more, or they think their property looks lovely, and I have to tell them the truth. It's extremely hard for me. It's extremely hard. I have a client right now that I'm trying to gently say, your home doesn't show that well, and we need to do some things. So if you ever hear me saying, my clients, I'm speaking to you directly now, if you ever hear me saying something like that, please know it's just as harder for me to tell you than it is for you to hear the news. So, but I've heard one speaker say, consider us like doctors. We have to break some difficult news sometimes and rip off the Band-Aid and help them heal. So, but that's the toughest part. When you want to please your clients, when putting your clients first and their success is the most important thing in your mind, then giving them difficult news is hard.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah,
All right.
I agree. Yes.
So, okay, here's one for you. What has been your best, or if you don't want to say that, what's been your worst experience in real estate so far? Choose one and give us an example.
Well, and this goes towards a little bit what you talked about, one of the hard things. Some people have to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are challenged because of that. They don't want to, they want the whole process over with. And they want it, the way they want it. And so anything that we do is going to be awful and our fault. So anything that happens in the process, you didn't tell me this would happen. And because it's never helpful to say, well, I did tell you, because that's only going to make people madder.
Right.
It's so I have worked with people who get furious with me because they're furious that they have to do this. And it's real, and it's really hard. I mean, it's just really hard. And that is the worst, is when you want to help somebody and they're not going to let you help them, and they're going to make it as miserable as possible. And I've sort of decided I'm not going to do that anymore. And it's mainly because life is too short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is too short. Right. Okay. Why do you love the job? What's the thing you love?
You know what I love is it's different every day. And you know what? Our job is solving problems. And it may not even be a problem, but we're always trying to be better. So there's no such thing as easy in this business at all. If it's easy, it's because you and I work hard to make it look easy, and we anticipate problems and we take care of them maybe before our clients even see them. But every day is different. You got to be on your toes. It's never boring.
Yeah. So share some, because before we're running out of time, share some of your wild memories, because Anne has wild memories.
Yeah, I have some funny ones. And what's funny is if you ever meet with a bunch of realtors and we share stories, it's kind of crazy. So when I was young and a new manager, this is like the most embarrassing one ever. We used to, in the olden days, tour our listings, where we'd take our office all the way through properties. We'd rent a bus and we'd take everybody from property to property. This is before we had internet and everything. So, all right, I'm a new manager. I've got like 25 salespeople who are reporting to me. They've reported to me for all of about 1 week at this point. So, we always get our properties ready for people to come in, right? Be ready, blah, blah, blah. So they're coming in. I'm proud to be their new manager. This is my beautiful listing on Lakeshore Drive. And they walk in and they come out of the primary bathroom snickering. My husband's walking in going, oh, I can't believe you're telling this story. So as they walk out, I'm like, why are these people reacting like this? I go into the bathroom and there's underwear. There's an enema bag slung over the bathtub, and I don't even want to tell you what other toys were around, but it was so embarrassing to me. I've walked into a renter who wanted us to pretend he wasn't there and was under the covers. And one of the hard things I've done is I had a hoarder where I actually had to rent the truck and rent the people to get his things out. And I literally held his hand as we went through the process. And the other thing is in Lakeview, in these courtyard buildings, I didn't know this until I learned the hard way. There are some half addresses, like 542, 544, 544 and a half. Okay. Because they've jammed all these courtyards in. So I went to show a property once. This was about 20 years ago. And I go in and we're talking and I'm like doing my thing. This is it. Aren't you so excited? Blah, blah, blah. So we go up to the second floor and I go in and I'm like, this doesn't look right. I'm supposed to be showing a 2-bedroom and this is a studio. And then I realize I'm in 544 and a half, not 544. And my key had worked in the unit and we'd walked into somebody else's home. And I was like, oh my gosh, get out, get out. So fortunately they were not there at the time, but boy.
You could have been shot.
I know. So keep that in mind. There are half addresses in Chicago. I didn't know.
Oh my
God. That's just a few of the funny stories, but I thought you would get a kick out of those.
You know, people, it's generally we love what we do and we love working with our clients. It's the unlovables that make the funny stories. And there are some because that's the way it always is. But generally, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love it.
Every day is different.
Yeah. So we'll see you. We're out of time. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. 7:30 a.m. on Mondays for Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.